And welcome back to the channel, guys. It's me, Adam. You're watching Steady Invest, and in this video we're going to be talking about the different cryptos as well as where they may be going from here. And yeah, it's been a wild ride, especially since the end of 2020, but really crypto is always a wild ride regardless of which coin you're talking about. I only really follow Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, Dogecoin really, and then I don't really follow the other ones too closely, but what you do need to know is pretty much every single one of them is very far off their all-time high. As Bitcoin, Ethereum, Cardano, you name it, we've seen a really big crash in most cryptos ever since the middle of May. So this is the question on everyone's mind: where is crypto going from here? Is the bull run over? Are we at the end of it? Is this just the beginning? My thoughts on that. Right now on the internet, when you're looking for crypto, this thing keeps coming up, this Wyckoff events and phases pattern chart, thingamajig chart that everyone's been comparing to the price of Bitcoin, saying it's been planned all along, the price is manipulated, it's not decentralized, and people are also looking at the opposite mirror image of that same graph, comparing it to the last few weeks of the beginning of that crash. And people are starting to call this area over here the accumulation phase. The idea behind this is that institutions don't want people to see them buying all at one time, so they accumulate. They don't want to sound off too many alarms, and then the price eventually sells down again. Human psychology has been the same for centuries at this point, and we're talking about massive institutions with very deep pockets with on-the-spot algorithmic trading. You can't beat them in the short term. We see that it makes a low one more time and springs from the area and then continues to go back up again. So once those deep pockets have accumulated enough, the price goes up again. Another reason to be bullish, as well as many people know, is that the institutional volume of trading, that trend has very evidently been increasing so far. Not to mention, this past weekend was the annual Bitcoin conference in Miami. You have all the big names: Michael Saylor, Jack Dorsey, Kevin O'Leary. And of course you have Elon and Michael Saylor, amongst others, making the Bitcoin Mining Council. And this ruffled some feathers because the whole idea of Bitcoin and cryptocurrencies is to be decentralized, meanwhile you're creating a council. The council is more so made for cryptocurrency mining companies to make sure the energy they're using to mine is as clean as possible. Because we all know that Elon loves to be a part of the cryptocurrency movement. And not to mention, this is big news, that El Salvador wants Bitcoin as legal tender. So my stance on Bitcoin is I am bullish on the long term, but in my opinion it still is a speculative investment. And I know a lot of people will hate that and they swear by Bitcoin and crypto in their future. And I do think the potential reward for crypto is huge in the long term. But it would be ignorant for me to not understand that there is potential downside when it comes to Bitcoin for the long term. I do believe that crypto does belong in every portfolio. How much, though, depends on the individual person. Now, looking specifically at the price of Bitcoin, as it is the main driver of cryptocurrencies, it's the gold standard, we need to really hold this $30,000 mark. We have a nice support about in this area over here, at about 30,000, give or take. And if we break up, the next solid support that we have would be the top of this resistance at about 20,000. And it would not surprise me in the short term if we saw the 20s again. Now, not for sure, anything can happen, but this happened really fast. If we fail the $30,000 mark, would we be surprised to see a sharp decline to 20 and then go back up? Again, anything can happen. On the upper side of where things are now, we can draw another line at about the $40,000 mark. So really just consolidating between this $30,000 and $40,000 mark, where we were about last January. And then once we pass 40,000, we're pretty much looking at Bitcoin in $10,000 increments. Those being the main support and resistance areas. And again, it's super volatile, so it happens really, really quickly. And if we zoom in at the 4-hour mark, I'm going to draw a couple more lines, so bear with me, guys. And you can draw these lines however you want. It is voodoo. It is whatever works for you and how you can read the chart yourself. When I draw these trend lines, I'm trying to connect as many candles as I can. And the idea is, as this price compresses and compresses, if it follows the same pattern, it's going to get to about June 11th and it's going to compress. It's going to want to break out either toward the upside or the downside. As always, we're just going to have to see what happens. Otherwise, that's the end of my video. Thank you very much for watching. Let me know in the comments below how you are playing cryptocurrencies. Hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys in the next video.
Kick back and intercepted. It's a 2-on-1. Armia and Byron. Yoel Armia holds, fires, scores. Another short-handed goal.